Instagram live or whatever. She's on their live of her story. They all did. They were all posting pictures. I mean, you dumb jerks. What did you think was going to happen?
That was one of the best things I saw. It was like, you guys are so afraid about Facebook, like, tracking you, but here y'all go and storm the Capitol with your location service turned on your phones.
Public display of white privilege. That's all that is.
Yes.
Unafraid of any consequences whatsoever.
And then she wants a pardon. And then she starts... she links her PayPal on Twitter. Like, can you help me with legal fees? PayPal's like, screw that. And they banned her.
Yeah, even Trump got banned on PayPal. Trump got banned on everything. But yeah, so she was trying to get money gathered up to pay for these legal fees too, which was another. Yeah, she's something. But
people are special.
You know, I mean, honestly, they all like busted in there. And while I was watching it too, all I kept thinking is, I think they were just too stupid. Like I believe some of them really thought this is what Trump said we should do, and it's okay.
Oh, 100%.
And we're doing it.
100%.
Because it was, I guess when you're just like motivated, like just like adrenaline's going and and I kept thinking like, okay, like I went to all those, like I went to the big pussy march. I didn't go to the one in Washington. I don't know the pussy hat, but it was the women's march, right? But I like to call it the pussy march. My girlfriend made like so many of those pussy caps for everybody, and she was mailing them out to people. She was doing like a stack like this a night on the couch. Like she had them suckers like down pat. And we went to the one in Seneca Falls where the women's suffrage was to begin with. And there was a lot of people there, whatever. And I kept thinking like, you know what? You're mad, you're motivated. And then like let's say they all like pushed in. But I don't know. Like, would I just go, okay, we're all going in? I mean, I was watching video of them, all these people just like walking through. I think it was like, do they call that the rotunda? Rotunda, right? You know that, right? And they were roped off, and they were just single file, like people like in their 60s, women. Just
they're like feet though. When I was on the ship, we had to do a lot of crowd management training, and it's something like, when a big event happens, whether it be a disaster or a protest or something, 5% of the people will take over as leaders, and they'll just start making random plans, or they'll make plans and make sure everybody does whatever. 20% will pretend nothing's happening. So like the apartment building's on fire. No, it's not. I'm staying in my apartment until they're actually dragged out. The boat's sinking. And until you drag them out, the boat's not sinking. The other 75%, they just follow along with whatever the leaders say. Like they just follow those 5%. And I think that's a lot of what was happening. Like, yeah, some people posted on Facebook, like, hey, we should do this. And all these people went, oh yeah. Okay, Marvin, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
But like once the doors are wide open, Sarah, right? And they're all just, there was people walking and they were following single file in between the ropes. Just
like it was supposed to be like organized.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like,
well, unfortunately, when you have direction from the president to take force or use force if necessary to steal back the vote or whatever the hell he was trying to spew, they think that they're free from any consequences because they have the president of the United States backing them up. And so they are going to do whatever they want and whatever they seem or deem necessary to support their president, you know?
Well, and I don't even think it's just backing them up. Like they specifically think he told them to do that. Like the way they understood it, that was his actual directions. Like you go in there and you take our government back. They're taking this from us. This isn't fair.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. It's like he's telling them to do it, so they think that they're free from any consequences as a result of it. Of doing what the president is telling them to do.
Sarah, I don't want to think though that they that they think they were free of any consequences. I think that in the moment, a lot of those people, not those jerks that like were like in Nancy Pelosi's, you know what I mean, taking pictures, but I'm talking about just like your average Karen who's in her 50s, 60s, you know what I mean? Who's just like, they were just like walking through looking like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? Like they weren't chanting, they were just marching in, you know, whatever. I don't think they clearly understood that. I don't know. I've got like, I don't know, some of the footage I saw, I was just like, some of them so clueless. They are like, they
were so dumb. They didn't have 2 cents to rub together.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I mean, like just to walk in there. And then I was thinking like, okay, so if it was me at one of those women marches and some of those women, I don't know, you know, busted in, would I be like, oh yeah, come on, we're just going to walk in? Like it's a in the moment thing too, where a lot of them weren't thinking clearly. Now those obviously some of them were.
Well, that one girl that they asked, you know, why are you storming like the Capitol? And she was like, it's a revolution. I'm like, Elizabeth, you do not know what you are doing.
No.
Seriously? Damn it, Elizabeth.
No,
seriously?
I mean, it's I don't know. I have to say I'm with my girlfriend a little bit where I do kind of feel sorry for some of them. I mean, okay, there was one video I saw. A guy was filming himself. He got all the way in and he was flipping through, I don't know, one of their like folders on their desk, you know, because a lot of them obviously ran out of there and they didn't bring all their paperwork. And I don't know, it was one of the senators, and he was taking pictures. He was flipping through it, taking pictures, going, there has to be something written in here that we can prove that it was overturned. And he just kept turning the pages and taking pictures of, but he didn't try to take the books. They didn't try to like rip up anything. It was just so like they were seriously thought they were on a mission. And it was what Trump wanted them to do. It was so bizarre. But let's talk about the dumbest of all, you guys. The 22-year-old who stole the laptop from Nancy Pelosi's office and thought she was going to sell it to Russia.
I didn't see that. Shut the front door.
This poor girl, 22. I don't mean to be judgy, but she looks dumb as a box of rocks. Poor thing. Yeah. And apparently she knew someone that lived in Russia and was like, called them and was like, see how if we can find a way to sell this computer to, you know, the Russians. And
Yep.
22.
So how did they catch her?
She told people, and those.
She posted. Yeah. I think she had a picture. Yeah, she was not clueless.
She did a Craigslist ad.
Anybody know anybody in Russia I can sell a laptop to?
Yeah.
Like, government laptop available.
And, you know, I mean, this whole like impeaching him thing. I mean, part of me is like, he's gone. Who cares? But all right, here's my other thing. Okay. Don't you think that if he runs again in 24, he's obviously going to run the Patriot Party. Okay. Don't you think it's like a shoo-in now for the Democrats because he's going to split the Republican vote? He's just going to take away Republican votes, which is going to give the Democrats a shoo-in.
Yep.
So if you were a Democrat, wouldn't you be like, yeah, let's have him run again? We know it's a shoo-in.
I think it's the principle of the thing for everything he's done.
Okay.
Everything that he's done, we don't want him to run again because it goes against all the principles that America's founded on.
Right. Now, but don't you think that the Republicans would want to get rid of him because he would fuck up the election for them again?
Yes.
But right. But do you think, well, people are saying that there's a huge amount of Republicans that are secretly meeting and they're all like, oh yeah, he's on it. Like, we've got to impeach him so he can't run again. But they're just not saying it right now out loud until it comes, You know what I mean?
I think so, because it's a definite, it's a
It hurts
divisive
them
thought.
having him, right?
Or having to admit that, they backed him for so long and then only to realize, way too late that, holy crap, he can destroy us.
Right. If he runs
what
it,
I mean?
I think the only way he can get back at any of them or try to destroy any of them is by running and splitting that vote. I don't know about running. He's off all social media. I don't know how he's going to get his rambling craziness out there on a daily basis during all of this and, make his little checklist of who you should not vote for in 2 years. I think I don't know. And I know Nancy Pelosi, I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of hers. And I don't know why. There's just something about her when she talks. It's like nails on chalkboard to me. And I know, I don't know. It's really just, I'm not a fan. But I think she's extra pissed now because they were in her office.
Yeah, I would be too. That's a violation of privacy.
Right. So don't you think that's why she's even extra?
Yeah, I mean, I would be pissed too if somebody incited an insurrection.
And but like everybody's like, oh, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's to be
only time will tell.
Only time will tell what's going to happen with that. So while we're on politics, who's back, ladies? Dr. Fauci.
Oh, right. He looks so excited. And did you see
adorable is he? Honestly.
CNN, he gave like a whatever, his little speech on CNN or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, are you being a little sarcastic?" He's like, "Oh no, that's all true. I wasn't happy."
Yeah, so adorable he is, And honestly, it was a nice, refreshing break to not have, to like the COVID doom and gloom. Now I'm like, oh, it's all back full force on the news. CNN and stuff, but it was nice to see little Dr. Fauci because I think he is just the cutest little thing. Rochester, one of our donut shops, Sarah, became really famous because they were selling Dr. Fauci donuts. They were donuts with his picture in the seal.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so it was very cute.
My favorite thing was whenever he was answering some press questions, and Dr. Fauci said he wouldn't guess answers to questions in the Biden administration. He said one of the new things about this administration is that if you don't know the answer, don't guess, which is a complete 180 from previous.
Or more so, don't even just make it up as you go along.
Right?
Like, literally, do you remember when he drew a storm on a map with a Sharpie?
He's like, Sharpie wrote it. It must be true. It's going to be a huge hurricane.
See it?
You guys, what am I going to do without watching him? I'm so sad to admit, but sometimes watching it brought me so much joy.
That's why he needs his Twitter back.
I know it. All right. Am I the only one that wants him to have Twitter?
No, it's not fair. We can't watch it for 4 years and then take it away now when he's melting down.
It's not fair, Sarah.
Not fair at all, because
don't let me pressure you.
I felt so
Sarah.
No,
if you want to say he doesn't deserve it, I'm
okay. Everybody likes to watch a dumpster fire, and I mean, and let's be real. You can feel so good about yourself, and you're like, okay, I don't have my shit together, but then you see a dumpster fire and you're like, okay, maybe I do have a little bit of my shit together if I'm not spewing that nonsense.
Yeah. And what's SNL going to do?
Oh, they're going to continue.
What's Saturday Night Live going to do, Sarah?
I don't know. Alec Baldwin did he say he was retiring the Trump? Or
it doesn't matter, but they've got nothing now.
He's too busy with Hilaria.
I don't even care. I don't care. I wanted to see them make fun of his press secretary. I'm going to miss it all.
I'm sure that they'll find something.
They have to. I mean, come on. Was there anything better than Melissa McCarthy riding that podium as Sean Spicer
down the street?
Could anything be better than that ever?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do
It was
now.
his